Tilda. Steve Shives doesn't understand free speech. I'm doing this before Tilda does it. I'm sure he will. This is a synopsis of a video Steve Shives loaded that would be called 5 Stupid Things About Free Speech. And in the past, him doing that would have really explained to us what his intention is. But he very accurately and with a lack of self-awareness posted basically 5 misconceptions about free speech. And then proceeded to miseducate all of us. So here we go. Now I'm going to explain this pretty clearly to people. You have to decide what kind of world you want to be in and then try to make that happen. But you have to put up with people who don't want that world, and you have to allow them to exist, because if you don't, then instead of a civilized world where civil conversations happen, you have literally fighting in the streets and war and chaos, or more accurately, people bullying and pushing people around. You are not permitted to censor speech you don't agree with. I'm allowed to do all the critiquing I want to on YouTube. Well, no, I'm not, but we'll get to what is and is not. Some are more equal than others. But I can get away with it. But much like hacking, just to have your machine not screw with you, it borders on being way too much damn effort to make the damn computer not auto-destruct. Anyway, assertions made by Steve Shives. Now, I'm obviously going to strawman the hell out of this and paint him as an idiot, blah, blah, blah. The trouble is, if you watch the video and actually listen, and God help me, I listened to it, I'm not really strawmanning him that much. I am kinda, but I'm trying to push a point here. And no, there's no trigger warning or copyright violation warning and all. The hell with that. Okay, here we go. Free speech isn't based on the First Amendment as being freedom of speech. That's, in a nutshell, his assertion, and then he backs it up very weakly. I'm not going to cover that because I have a right to free speech. Go to hell, Steve. Next. You don't have a right to freedom of speech without consequences. Lack of self-awareness on his part. The consequence for free speech that is disturbing or bothering to someone is they have the right to use free speech to combat it, not put you in a free speech zone, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, not exclude you from a debate, because excluding people from a debate makes it to where the debate doesn't work. And it does include, freedom of speech. You have to permit freedom of speech. Shouting louder than other people and bullhorning them and not being reasonable and acting like a bunch of psychos and threatening people, that's beyond the pale. Right? Right, Steve? There are consequences for saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. Yes, Steve, you blathering on like a moron and making people say, "Hey, moron! Moron!" That's your consequence. And if you can't handle it, I guess you'll just block them. Oh, you already did. Next. These consequences include the following, according to Steve Shives. If someone tattles to your boss about you exercising your freedom of speech and they decide to fire you over something that has nothing to do with your job, that's appropriate. That's an assertion he made. I'm not kidding. I'm not oversimplifying it. Laughing Witch decided to do this, it's a channel name, to Thunderfoot, another channel name. Thunderfoot's boss wasn't buying it. Probably the umpteenth time he'd heard something like this. Laughing Witch's channel didn't want to have the same consequences. People like me made sure the consequences were there. I wasn't the only one. And oh God, if you go there, we're going to go there too. And the we are everybody out there who doesn't want to get doxxed or harangued or get fired over something like me saying, I don't support Black Lives Matter because it acts like a terrorist organization sometimes. I know dozens of people in this town that are part of Black Lives Matter, and they don't want to be associated with that kind of shit either. And they do say all lives matter. But they're saying that they're an activist group for black people because of some areas in the country where black people are marginalized. Not the whole freaking country. They're not extremists. And they don't go to these get-togethers where people are acting like idiots because it's not productive. These are the sane people. Funny thing is, all of them were computer scientists and geeks. Maybe it's a sign. Anyway, where was I? Anyway, you shouldn't get fired over stating your damn opinion. Steve Shives says that should happen. You're not guaranteed a platform. Yes, you can silence people by driving them off the internet. They don't have a right to have access to the internet. But the internet has checks and balances that are supposed to be there. The DMCA does not have one. The DMCA does not have a punishment for someone who misuses it. You can literally ad nauseum keep flagging a channel until it goes down. Or keep flagging a website and silence people. That's wrong. It puts the onus on the accused instead of the accuser. The accuser is not required to give me their docs, and if I want to respond to a DMCA takedown at one point, I would have to produce docs. I found a way around that. It's having an agent of service, not an agent of doubt. And other things you can do. But the point is, Steve and Jenny McDermott, the system is rigged so that you don't feel comfortable having freedom of speech. This is called a chilling effect. Even Google, even though they own YouTube and they're being asshats, when you can't get to a website, they will post the takedown demand to chillingeffects.org so you can see why it was done and how lame it is that they can't have it in the search engine results. They have to take pictures out. If someone flags a picture as inappropriate, it's taken out. But someone can just flag it because they don't like that you like it. No, I'm not kidding. People have done that. I don't have to give any more examples. YouTube is replete with this shit. Steve is advocating for censorship and for being allowed to punish people for having unpopular views and for doxing people effectively and firing them. Because the only reason anybody was able to find out someone's boss's name was finding out the person's name. Steve is not interested in fair use. And yeah, Steve has actually been guilty of screwing people over when they posted reply videos to him featuring him in the video. I have a copyright, but you don't have a copyright to your name, your face, or your channel content. You're posting it on YouTube, it's under standard YouTube licensing. None of the licensing done under YouTube contain actual copyright requirements. We're not under copyright. Someone made the mistake of posting my entire video once, contradicting what they said, and all they said was, lol, he failed. And what people did when they saw that, what a dumb damn thing to do, is even the people who agreed with them said, you posted a video that proves you wrong on your own channel. This isn't working. They got their comments deleted. Just like Steve Shives did. Anyway. Anyway, let's just go on. Don't be a bully on the internet, okay? Don't contact someone's boss and try to get them fired. See, bullying is bullying. But it's only bad when someone does it to me. Right, Steve? No one has to listen to you. Otherwise, you could compel them to listen to you by interrupting them. Oh, really? Like a guest speaker at a college, like Yiannopoulos, attempting to finish a sentence, and a couple of people come up and get this close to punching him in the face. Steve, you're wrong. No one has to listen to you. In a debate, you're not allowed to interrupt people. Most debates get out of hand a little bit, and they allow them to because it's kind of fun. But the fact is that some people rely on that. There is a bunch of videos on YouTube of you can watch debating. I swear to God, I'll try to find a link to it, where people are debating. It's an actual debate, and all they're doing is screaming obscenities and spoken word poetry style stuff. Freestyling. No content. It was a mockery of... I don't think anybody watching the debates could figure out what the debate was about. It became so abstract it was worthless. Anything rigorous is meaningless. It's kind of a joke about overly rigorous methodology that finally gets to the point that it doesn't apply to anything in the real world. My channel's an example of that. But I'll include below my synopsis of it, and if you want to go look it up, look up Steve Shives. I'll try to get the spelling correct for his name. I can't pronounce it correctly. I can't. I can't bring myself to. And you can decide whether or not I'm oversimplifying this, or if I'm getting it completely wrong. I might be. I'm a little upset with him. Because basically he's advocating for a very intellectually twisted version of reality to fit in. Steve has gotten to the point that he literally is distorting reality to the point that it doesn't make any sense to anybody else watching unless they already agree with him. And I'm guilty of that too. I'm notorious for just posting nonsensical stuff when it's an opinion, because that's what an opinion is. But I usually back up my stuff. This video won't back up anything. I'm probably not going to include any links of any kind. I'm just frustrated with the fact that I just got done watching. I was hoping the where's the fair use thing would be done by now, because YouTube and Google acted like they fixed things. They didn't. The product forums complaint area, otherwise known as the help forums, it's just the complaint box, we all just go there to complain, has a posting by someone who's supposed to be very closely associated with the internal workings of YouTube, saying, we fixed the comment section or the DMCA takedown thing. No, you didn't. There's about a dozen channels posting that nothing literally had changed for them. Other channels like mine, there are changes being applied. They're rolling it out for 3 months. Really. They did enough to placate people so they'd stop using where the fair use. What, WTFU, where is the fair use? So here's my problem with this. Fair use, along with things ending up in the commons and things ending up being under public domain by you not being able to permanently copyright them. All of the things that are part of how the system used to work that kind of worked okay, sort of like equal time and fairness doctrine and a bunch of other things that were very lofty sounding, but forced people not to be exposed to one view, or forced people, literally made them have to put up with opposing views once in a while, so they may have to actually hear what they don't want to hear, or consider what they would never want to consider because it destroys their worldview. All of these things have been torn down little by little over a period of time. And it's getting to the point that this is going to be something that has to be literally force-memed back into position. And that requires a lot more effort than most of us are willing to put out. When we go to YouTube, there's a set of rules that are supposed to apply to everyone equally, but they apply to some more than others, and we all know that now. And the other disturbing part is a bunch of people who went into looking into this actually made an effort to get away with finding out if nothing is being processed by a human. I found one way to get humans to look at stuff. I have a video about that. Maybe I'll use that in the links. We don't have a guarantee of a platform on YouTube, but it invited us. It was called YouTube. We're not invited anymore. We're dead weight. And I'm just going to throw this bit out. The number of channels on YouTube, you can look up the number of channels, and it changes every day. I don't know what the actual number of YouTube channels that exist. Okay. It's the 1% rule in the bell curve thing. 1% of the YouTube channels, this is the 90-80 rule, the 80-20 rule. 1% of the YouTube channels provide 90% of the content that makes them money. But that other 10%, which represents more than 99% of the population of YouTube, are just people who watch YouTube and don't really have any content. The only thing that will affect YouTube and Google so that they listen is if everybody posts a video saying, where's the fair use, and has a list of demands in the description, a video, just a video that might show the description and just have it down below. Maybe you speaking. And every other video on your channel being invisible, and make them private, so that they can't make any money off of the content being there. And do it all on one day. This has been done before, but another way. Make it to where there's literally no content on YouTube except the really popular channels that aren't going to do this, and everybody else saying the same thing. Fix it, or we're not coming back. And then we all just not come back, like going on strike. Just saying. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And thanks for listening to me rant. And I'm just going to include my synopsis of Steve's shows below, and I'm tired of this.